behind me there, all set up. Ready? Yes? Okay. Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. I am glad you're with me today. We're going to talk today about health issues that we all have. We all have these problems, and many times people don't know what to do about them. And the reason I know this is I've been in practice for a long time, coming up on 40 years now, and so many times people have questions, and I see a pattern. Very similar questions come up over and over and over again. And every now and then there's something new and unique, but generally speaking, it's the same question. So we all have these problems, or if you don't have them yet, you're going to, and I want to be able to let you know what to do about it. So let's start with pain. Everybody has pain. Most people have pain every day. In fact, it's kind of funny. I was out to dinner with a friend of mine the other day, and he's a judge. He's around my age, and he's saying, and he's in great shape. He's black belt in multiple martial arts, and he says, Joe, let me ask you a question. I said, what's that? He says, when you wake up in the morning, does your hip hurt? Does your elbow hurt? Your knee hurt? I said, yeah, Mike, it happens to everybody. He says, I don't know who to ask, and I just assume it's me. I said, no, it's all of us. And my friends come to me all the time, my age, and privately, or sometimes it might be a sexual issue, might be a digestive issue, or publicly in a group, and they'll say, hey, do you have? I think it's just me. No, we all got it. So most common cause of joint pain, by far, is a bone out of place. It could be your elbow, could be your knee, could be your spine, your hip. So if a bone moves out of place, the body sends up pain signals, and it says, hey, something's wrong. Don't ignore me. Right? If you remember, what was it, Fatal Attraction? I will not be ignored. That's your body. Your body is Glenn Close saying, I will not be ignored. And what do we do with it? We ignore it, or we cover it up. And so the problem then gets worse, because if a bone is out of place, it causes pain, but 90% of your nerves don't feel pain. You can have a pinched nerve and not know it. So I see this all the time. People have bones out of place, pinching nerves. I had a guy just the other day, horrible spine, clogged arteries. He had quadruple bypass surgery in his heart. I looked at his other arteries, his neck, his abdomen, his aorta. Everything was clogged up. And I said to him, I said, what did the doctor say about this? They said, well, the heart surgery was a success. Well, they opened up the arteries in the heart, but all the other arteries are clogged. Did nothing about it. I showed it to him on the x-rays, and he got concerned. He says, that's pretty serious, isn't it? I said, yeah. I said, you can throw a piece of this plaque and break off, go to your brain, it's a stroke. Go to your lungs, it's a pulmonary embolism. Just because they unclogged a few arteries, you got to clean all the pipes. And so when you have pain, it's a warning sign. He had no pain. When I looked at his spine, he says, I don't have any low back pain. It was a mess. The arteries were clogged, but no pain. So 90% of the time, you can have a problem and not know it. 30% of all heart attacks, the first symptom of a heart attack is death. 30% of the time. So we want to get to the cause of the problem and fix it before it shows up as a symptom, not after. Make sense? So if you have pain, it's probably a bone out of place, usually. Most common thing. And the simple fix is put the bone back in place. Don't ignore it. Don't cover it up. Now, if you have to take some medication, if you're in pain, absolutely take the medication. Maybe you have to have an injection. Fine. But that doesn't fix the problem. I want to get to the cause of the problem, not just treat the symptoms. So putting the bone back in place, absolutely positively the easiest, fastest, least expensive, safest way of doing it. So find yourself a qualified chiropractor. The chiropractors are the only ones trained to put bones back in place and relieve nerve pressure like that, and get those nerves fixed as quickly as possible. Now, if you want to set up an appointment with me and my team in the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. I would love to be your doctor, because we check the nerves, we also check the digestive system, and we check your diet. I don't know anyone who's doing that anywhere, and we do it for you. Now, we can do virtual meetings as well. You can just go to my website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com, set up an appointment, stop suffering. Remember, pain is a warning sign. It's telling you something's wrong. Don't ignore it. If you do, it's going to get out of control. I promise you. Now, my rule is this on pain. If it's there for more than 3 days, you got to get it fixed. Now, if I work out real hard and I'm sore for a couple of days, my biceps, my triceps, my glutes, I understand that. I worked out, I tore the muscles a little bit. It's got to heal. I get that. But if you have headaches, numbness, tingling, back pain, neck pain, just get it fixed. Biggest complaint I get is, why didn't I do this sooner? I get it every single day. Why didn't I do this sooner? Why did I suffer for so long? I don't know. Could have come seen us 40 years ago when I opened up. So, drjoe.com if you want to do that. So if you're just tuning in, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. What we're talking about today are problems we all have, and people don't know what to do about them. So I'm telling you what to do about them. Wrinkles, aging. This is an issue, and sometimes it starts really young. You've probably known people in their 20s and 30s that look like they're in their 50s and 60s, and you've met people in their 70s and 80s who look like they're in their 40s. Why do some people age so quickly and others don't? Genetics play about 15% of the game. The other 85% you have control over. So when you say you have a genetic predisposition to diabetes or heart disease, I get that, but 85% of it you have control over. So as the skin gets thinner, it dries out, it loses elasticity. Some of the things that happens, you get the wrinkles, of course. You get that almost translucent skin. Now, if you smoke, you know that's going to speed up the aging process. I used to say in my lectures early on, you get 100 billion free radicals per puff of cigarettes. Now, a free radical is a molecule that eats through things like acid. Okay, so 100 billion molecules eating through your body. Well, it turns out my research was wrong. And when I'm wrong, I admit it. It's very rare, but I'm wrong. It's 100 trillion free radicals per puff of cigarettes. 100 trillion molecules like Pac-Man eating through things, dissolving the connective tissue in not only your skin, how about your heart, how about your colon, how about your digestive system, your sex organs. So, of course, smoking, not a good idea. But the other thing that can really speed up the aging process is sunlight. Now, I'm a huge fan of getting sunlight. You need sunlight. However, too much of it, bad thing. So to ease some of these signs of aging, what you want to do is protect yourself from sun. Don't smoke. Skin products, moisturizers, there's prescription retinoids you can take. They might make the wrinkles less noticeable, but you need to give them time to work. You can't just put something on your skin, and so I did this for 3 days. It didn't work. It might take 6 weeks to 3 months to show any results. The best advice I can give you, of course, don't smoke. Now, if you're addicted, I understand that. Go to my website, drjoe.com, type the word addiction in the search bar, and listen to a show we did a while ago. We talk about the neurophysiology, that's how things work, of addiction. Why do you have these addictions, and then how you can reset the brain in many cases. So when it comes to sun, I want you to do this. First thing in the morning, best time to be out in the sun. The sun is rising, get out there. And you could spend about 15, 20 minutes in the sun. From about 9 or 10 o'clock until about 4 o'clock, the sun is most intense. So if you're going to be out there, again, only about 10, 15 minutes max. The best thing to do is cover up. Get out of the sun. Now, if you've ever been down to tropics, you'll notice that the natives, they don't wear sunscreen. They laugh at the tourists slathering on the sunscreen, right? Jimmy Buffett's song about that. All those tourists covered in oil. They don't do that. What do? They wear big floppy hats. They wear big floppy pants, big floppy long sleeve shirts. They're not in the sun. They're covered up, and you're out there in a bathing suit with no top on going, oh, this is great. I feel wonderful in the sun. You're frying your skin. Now, if you're going to use a sunscreen, there's only 2 ingredients that I know that are safe. Titanium dioxide or zinc oxide. I'm going to say it again. Titanium dioxide or zinc oxide, those are safe because they create a protective barrier on your skin. And when you put them on, they leave a white coating on you. That's a good sign. The other ones, oxybenzone, all these other chemicals, not a good idea. Very dangerous. And one of the arguments is that those can actually lead to cancer. But then the counter argument is, yeah, but it's better than sun exposure, which can also lead to cancer. Why not use something that's safe, that doesn't lead to cancer, and actually blocks the sun from your body? So titanium dioxide or zinc oxide. Do not use spray-on sunscreen. It creates something called nanoparticles. These are really small particles, and you can inhale them, and it's not designed to be in your lungs. So whether it's a toxic chemical or titanium dioxide or zinc oxide, do not use a spray. Very dangerous, and certainly don't use it around children because you're inhaling all those toxic chemicals into their lungs. Not a good idea. Best thing to do is cover up. But again, if you're in a pool or you're swimming or something like that, please use those. Gentlemen, if you start to go bald, make sure you cover up your scalp. You don't think about that, right? Well, I got my face covered, my arms covered. What about your scalp? If you have a full head of hair, probably not that big a deal. But yeah, you don't want to burn your scalp. That's not good because that can lead to hair loss later on. So if you're just tuning in, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito talking today about problems we all have, but nobody knows what to do about them. Loss of muscle. Sarcopenia is the fancy word. Now, many people lose strength and endurance as they get older, and the reason isn't really about the aging process. Most people just stop using their key muscles. Now, when I was young, I played football, I played hockey, I played basketball. Every day we had gym class, if anybody old enough to remember those days. And then at night, I'd come home from work, I'd come home from school, I'd work, and depending what time of my life it was, what job I had, so I was up and moving around constantly, or I'd go out with my friends, and we'd hang out in the schoolyard. Yep, just like me and Julio. We'd hang out in the schoolyard. If you're old enough, you got the reference. And we'd play basketball or walk. We didn't have any cars back then, of course. We were younger. And we'd just walk and walk and walk and walk. So we didn't realize how great a shape we were in because it was a different lifestyle. I took the bus to high school one time. And it didn't make sense because I had to walk 3 blocks one way to get the bus. High school was the opposite direction. But high school was probably 1.5 miles away. But in my little feeble mind, I didn't want to walk 3 blocks in the opposite direction, so I walked to school every day. And I'd pick up Jim Zawicki, and then we pick up Bill Kohler, and then we pick up Vern Pittman, and the 4 of us would walk to school. And we had it timed out perfectly along the path. I was the first one. I stopped at Jim's house. We didn't even stop at his house. He just came out of the house on perfect timing. And so we walked everywhere. We played sports all the time. We never took a ride from our parents. Even from high school, I had to walk to my football field. So it's a very different lifestyle that we lead as we get older. And one of the things about aging is we work really hard to be comfortable. The temperature has to be just right. I don't want to walk too far. I don't want to be outside too much. And this pursuit of comfort takes the stress off our body physically, which may not be the best thing for us. So keeping the body in motion is so important. Now, you don't have to go to the gym. There's different type of workouts. How about you go garden for a half hour every day? Don't have to do it. A half hour is all I'm asking for a day. You can do 2 15-minute sessions, 1 30-minute session. Clean the house. Stay in motion. Wash the windows. Mop the floor. Be intentional by keeping the body in motion. Go out and help somebody else if you need to. Help somebody else's garden. Mow the lawn. So staying in motion is so important because you're going to get that sarcopenia. And sarcopenia is muscle loss. Now, your diet has a lot to do with that too. And it's funny because there's one place I work out at. The owner is always like, you need more protein. You need more protein. And I'm like, you don't have a background in nutrition and biochemistry like I do. You don't need more protein. You need to digest the protein that you're eating. Big difference. Because if you take in too much protein, that can be very toxic. In fact, your body only needs about 8 to 10% of its total caloric intake is protein. A carrot is about 6%. Steak's about 18, 20%. That's too much protein. And that protein has to be broken down and removed from the body. And how does that happen? In the liver and the kidneys. And that's why if you see people on high-protein diets, you start to many times see kidney issues. So it's not what you ingest, it's what you digest. I can ingest a lot of protein, but if I'm not absorbing it, it only has to be passed out of my body if I'm not utilizing it. And it can't just be protein. If I'm going to make a cake, I can't just have flour. I need flour, I need salt, I need baking soda, I need whatever you're putting in there. I don't need eggs, but you need eggs, you need milk. You need all the ingredients to make the cake work. Just adding one ingredient, flour being the main one, is not going to make a cake. Same thing with muscles. Muscles are protein, but you need enzymes, you need B vitamins, you need an array of other minerals to build that muscle. So taking more protein doesn't solve the problem. It can actually make the problem worse. So you don't need more, you just need to absorb better. And so what we do is when a patient comes in our office, we check their digestive system. Do you have heartburn, acid reflux, burping, gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation? These are warning signs telling me you're not absorbing your nutrients properly. And so what might be causing it? Well, you might have a bad diet. That's certainly an easy fix. It could be a physical problem. Your stomach, which sits below your diaphragm, can push up into the diaphragm. And I see this in about 85% of my patients. Regardless of what they come in for, I find it's about 85% of patients. So you might have heartburn, acid reflux, bad breath, tickle in the back of your throat, chronic cough. These are oftentimes signs that acid is coming from your stomach into your throat. So what a lot of people do is they'll take a medication to slow down the acid production in the stomach. Get over the counter, you get prescription, and it's for heartburn or acid reflux, and it works wonders. It lowers your stomach acid, and it helps the symptoms. However, you need stomach acid to break down protein. So if you are taking a medication to lower your stomach acid, now you can't break down the protein, you can't absorb the amino acids. Protein is made of something called amino acids, and you can't build muscle. And I've seen this countless times. Doc, I work out 5 days a week, 6 days a week. I'm exercising. I'm eating right. I can't build any muscle. How old are you? I'm over 30. All right, we got to increase your stomach acid. You're taking medication. Gee, I take acid reflux medication. You're not breaking down proteins into amino acids. So there's a lot of factors involved in building muscle aside from just work, aside from just lifting. Because putting stress on the muscle is important, but you have to have the nutrients to fix it. It's like anything else when it comes to health. You have to have all the parts tuned up, you have to have the right chemistry, and you have to have the nervous system working properly to tell it what to do. That's how it works. That's how you build muscle. Many times as we get older, the muscles get weaker, and the muscles support the skeleton. So if you have weak muscles, the bones can move out of place more easily. You might have a dislocated shoulder, a bad knee, a foot problem. How about a spinal bone moving out of place? If a spinal bone moves out of place, it pinches a nerve. If it pinches a nerve, it can hurt 10% of the time. We said earlier, 90% of the nerves don't feel pain. 90% of your nerves don't feel pain. So in my office, we check the nerves that feel pain, and we check the nerves that don't feel pain, and we check the digestive system, and we do a nutrition workup. So if you're ready to get out of pain, feel better, hopefully live longer, be healthier, save a ton of money on healthcare costs and money on food, make an appointment to come see us. drjoe.com, drjoe.com. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb, in the Atlanta area. I want to be your doctor. I want to get to the cause of your healthcare problems, not just treat the symptoms. So you can book an appointment right now, drjoe.com. Bring your friends, bring your family, bring your children. Let's check the kids out to make sure it's not a problem. And patients say often, well, Dr. Joe, I don't have pain in my back, so I don't have to come see you. I want to fix things before they break, not after. You tune up your air conditioner. You get the emails from your car dealership. You've got to get your car tuned up. It's time for a tune-up. It's time for an oil change. Time for a tire rotation. We do that to make the car last longer. Well, I want your body to last a lot longer than your car. So if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, headaches, sciatica, numbness, tingling, stop suffering needlessly. Come see us, drjoe.com. And if you're ever in a car accident, I'm begging you, please, if the car was damaged, you were damaged. I have never seen it any other way. So when you're in that accident, you're going to get phone calls from scam lawyers, from scam doctors. If somebody calls you to make an appointment, it's a scam. They cannot legally reach out to you. In fact, it's a felony if they do. So don't get involved with illegal things. Go to quality doctors. Go to quality lawyers. drjoe.com. Come see us. If you have injuries, we'll tell you. If we don't, we'll tell you that too. We'll even help you find other doctors and lawyers if you need to. We want to be your healthcare providers. drjoe.com. So make your appointment right now. We're talking today about all problems we all have. Another problem we have is malnutrition. Many diseases that we have are due to lack of nutrients. You need a lot of nutrients to keep that body working of yours. And most of us in the standard American diet put in certainly not enough, and many times almost none. The body is going to malfunction. People say, I don't care, I got to live life anyway, you're going to die for something anyway. That's true. However, as soon as something goes wrong, they rush to the doctor and say, Doc, fix me. I thought you just said it's okay. You're going to die anyway. What's the difference if you die now? You die 50 years from now. What's the difference? You don't care about your diet. You don't care about your structure. Yeah, but take care of your structure and take care of your diet. The minimum supplements I would recommend, absolute minimum, Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. They're 2 powders. They taste great. They're on the website, drjoe.com. I take a scoop of each every day. do it every day. First thing in the morning is when I do it. Now, we have mint flavor. We have plain flavor super greens. I like the mint. Some people like the plain. Try them both. drjoe.com. We'll ship it to you that day or the next business day, or come by our offices, Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. Pick it up. Another thing I do to keep myself young, my muscles and my brain, is I take a supplement called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide opens up your blood vessels and increases circulation. Your brain, your sex organs, your heart, your lungs, your muscles. I take nitric oxide before I work out to increase circulation, so I have good circulation going to the muscles. If I'm sore the next day, well, I take it every day anyway, that can help flush out some of the lactic acid and waste products. Nitric oxide, great for high blood pressure, great for sexual dysfunction, great for energy issues, brain issues. Don't take it if you have low blood pressure. Only take it if you have high or normal blood pressure. I'm about 180, 190 pounds. I take 4 capsules a day, and I love it. And most people that take it just love it. I take B vitamins every day because my body doesn't store B vitamins. I have to get new ones every day. I take a B vitamin supplement, Dr. Joe's B complex. It's methylated. It's what I consider the best in the world. I take adrenal support every day to help fight inflammation, keep my hormone levels up. So on the website, drjoe.com, we have the store section, has all the supplements listed. If you have any questions, send me your questions through the website, drjoe.com. Happy to answer your questions for you. So just go to drjoe.com and send me your questions if you need to. But best thing to do is make an appointment. If you're a podcast junkie, go to your podcast service, Dr. Joe for the Health of It. Dr. Joe for the Health of It. We do at least 2 podcasts a week, and you'll get your podcast. Follow me on social media at Dr. Joe Esposito. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, our Facebook page. It's still down. We're still fighting with Facebook. It's impossible dealing with these people, but that should be up soon. At Dr. Joe Esposito. At Dr. Joe Esposito. Follow me. And you know what? I give you a lot of information. Do that as a favor to me. Follow me on all the platforms, and you'll get posts every day. Now, if you don't like it, just unfollow. It's very simple. Sign up for our newsletter. We send out maybe a couple a month. Now, if you like the newsletter, great. If you don't like it, unsubscribe. I can't make it any easier for you, folks. We have 4 offices. Get your spine checked, get your digestive system checked, get your diet straightened out. Follow me on social media, everyday tips. Newsletter, every now and then we send one out. I can't make it any easier for you. I want to be your doctor, and the more you learn, the more you realize how much there is to learn. I've been studying biochemistry and nutrition for 40 years. I learn something new every day. You don't have to, though. I do. Just listen to my podcast. So I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We're talking today about health issues we all have. Another one that happens to all of us at some point, and sometimes very often, is sleeping trouble. Now, coffee and alcohol can certainly cause these issues, so cutting back on them can be a big plus for many reasons, not just sleep. Now, if you wake up and pee a lot, how many people do that? What I do is I stop drinking a lot of fluids around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This way, 10 o'clock when I go to bed, I've had lots of time to get it out of my system. Now, if you're eating something like soup, celery is a diuretic, parsley is a diuretic, watermelon can be a diuretic, you might have to pee more. But getting up and peeing certainly disrupts your sleep. Now, if you're healthy, if you don't have a lot of pain, if the digestive system is working, you're able to fall right back to sleep. If there's an imbalance, that can cause you not to be able to fall back to sleep. So it's really important that you get to sleep. And many times what I find with sleep issues and snoring, you have a sheet of muscle called the diaphragm. The stomach is pushed up into the diaphragm. My team of doctors and I need to adjust or pull the stomach down away from the diaphragm. Acid reflux, heartburn, bad breath works wonders in most of those cases. Folks, I just realized I'm almost out of time. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back. Any questions, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We'll be right back. Bam. Carl Bennett has tuned in and said, Carl Bennett, I was just asking about you the other day, actually. I just said, whatever happened to Carl Bennett? Well, good. I'm glad you tuned in, Carl. Still doing your John Denver cover band? He's really good. If you ever get to see him, folks, he sounds just like John Denver. Anyway, any questions aside from my buddy Carl?
Do you have suggestions for myasthenia gravis?
Myasthenia gravis.
This happened to a friend after heart valve surgery.
Yes, myasthenia gravis, very, very serious situation, can be deadly. You've got to get the nervous, key is mobilizing the joints, first of all, chiropractic care, but getting the body healthy. You've got to get the nervous system working, and you've got to get the diet straightened out. So Super Green, Central Source, as long as the blood pressure is fine, nitric oxide, B complex to get the nervous system working again. Yeah, you don't want to mess around with myasthenia gravis. That's not something you play with. So if they're local, get them to come see me right away. What else you got?
Is aluminum in deodorant a major concern?
Yes, absolutely. I got to make a video. I've been meaning to do this for a while. I've got several videos I got to make, and I forget that I live this lifestyle, and I forget I got to make videos. What I do is I take a squirt bottle, spray bottle. I bought it for $1 at the dollar store or whatever it was. Fill it up with rubbing alcohol, and then I put in about a half a bottle, of bottles about this big, of tea tree oil. And I put in enough so that when you spray it, it smells like tea tree oil and not alcohol. And that's the deodorant I use every day. I keep the spray bottle in my shower. As soon as I'm done showering, spray it under my arms. Good for the day. But the aluminum in deodorant, yes. Any aluminum in the body is dangerous. The body needs 0 aluminum in your diet. Anything beyond 0 is dangerous. So, yep. And if you're going to use deodorant, don't use antiperspirant. That has aluminum in it. Use deodorant, which doesn't. So.
And also be careful with older camping cook sets. They used to make a lot of them super lightweight by making them solid aluminum, but it's a really, really soft metal, and it chips, and it scratches, and it's not good.
Not good. And as a Boy Scout, I remember my aluminum. I can feel the spoon scraping across it, just as you said that. Yeah, aluminum is very, very dangerous, so stay away from it.
They still make it and advertise the heck out of it.
Yeah, it's still good. No, it's not. It's horrible. So, all right, more questions?
Is a heavy person with low cholesterol or a slim person with high cholesterol more unhealthy?
You don't know. You have to measure something else called homocysteine and C-reactive protein. Homocysteine is amino acid that basically goes through your blood vessels and tears scratches in the blood vessels. Then the body lays cholesterol down as to fill in the scab and fight the inflammation. So the cholesterol floating around in the blood is bad. When it oxidizes and sticks to the artery walls, it's worse. So you could be skinny with normal cholesterol levels, die of a heart attack. Because it's not the cholesterol in the blood, it's the cholesterol stuck to the artery walls. Fat person could have low cholesterol, but a lot of plaquing. Skinny person could have high cholesterol, very little plaquing, and vice versa. So just measuring your cholesterol, not a good idea. You want to measure your C-reactive protein. That tells you how much inflammation there is in the body. And your homocysteine, which is an amino acid that's tearing up the arteries. That's more effective. So your doctor should be able to do that test anywhere you go. I know there's a place in Georgia called any lab test. You could just walk in. Yeah. Diagnostic lab. Walk in and say, I want a blood work. They said, okay, got money? Yeah, here's your blood test. They don't care. So you don't have to have blood test ordered. You can go get them yourself if you want to, but make sure those two are always included when you have your blood work done.
How often would you do that?
Once a year if you're healthy, twice a year if you're not. And monitor it, and then if there is an issue and you don't know what to do about it, come see me either virtually or in person, and we will go ahead and do a workup for you and see what we can do for you. I like when patients bring in their blood work because then I have a better idea as to what's happening. But remember, blood work is a picture of you at a moment in time. I'll tell you a story. Years ago, I had blood work. I hadn't had blood work done in a while. My mother was yelling at me, you're getting old, you need a blood work done. So one of my gifts was she gave me like $100, and she said, you have to spend this on blood work. You cannot spend this on anything else. I said, okay, Mom. And I went, and I had high triglycerides. I eat really well. Why'd I have high triglycerides? Well, the night before, I had had a big pasta meal, a lot of carbohydrates. And sugar is converted into glucose. Glucose is used as energy. Once all my cells are filled up with glucose, it goes into my liver, gets converted into glycogen. Glycogen is where we store excess sugar for use later on. Once my glycogen stores are all filled up, my body says, stop eating this darn sugar. I got to get rid of it. So the body then converts it into triglycerides to be stored as fat. So I just had too many carbohydrates right before my blood test. I waited a few weeks, had another test. My triglycerides were fine. So remember, doctor has to understand it's a snapshot of a moment in time. But more important than that, what do you do with the results? I have high cholesterol. We're going to put you on medication. I want you to ask your doctors this question whenever you have blood work done and they recommend a medication. Why do I have high blood pressure? Why do I have high cholesterol? The answer is usually, I don't know. Idiopathic hypertension. About 85% of people with high blood pressure, we don't know what causes it, but we're going to put you on medication anyway. And many times it's not the heart that's the problem. It's the liver. It's lack of nitric oxide. It's kidneys. So always ask why.
And a lot of times those medications aren't meant to be used long term.
Yes, we talked about acid reflux earlier in the show. Acid reflux medication, 6 weeks. How many people have taken it for 5, 10, 20 years? So, yes, pay attention.
Or statins or...
Statin drugs, it lowers your cholesterol, but also lowers something called coenzyme Q10 or CoQ10. CoQ10 is necessary to make the muscles contract, to make the cells work. It's used by the mitochondria. So if you take statins, many times you're tired. And the heart isn't able to beat like it should because you don't have enough CoQ10 to make the mitochondria produce electricity. So, yeah, there's downsides to that. I'm not against medication, but let's fix the cause so hopefully you don't need it.
Because it's so backwards. You go in, you get the blood work, you ask, why is it like this? Like, I'll take your medication, but why is it like this?
Right.
And you take the medication, you get to the limit of how long you technically should healthily take the medication.
Right.
And you come back and you say, okay, what can we do now? Well, we can write another prescription.
Up your dose. Yeah, right. No, that's not my question. Yeah. And right now it's called forever drugs. And there's the medications to lose weight, all these popular medications for diabetes that people are taking to lose weight. I just saw a pediatric group recommend that if a child is overweight, they should be on these medications forever. That was a recommendation. Put them on a drug forever. $1,000 a month forever. Never said lose weight. Put them on a drug so they don't have an appetite. The problem is you don't have an appetite, you're not eating nutrients, your body can go into malnutrition. And all digestive problems, I won't even start with that. But yes. Any other questions? I'm sorry, I got a little excited there.
That is all.
All right, good. All right, round 2. Carl, you ready? All right, here we go. Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. If you're just joining us, welcome. If you stayed with me, thank you. I do appreciate that. What we're talking about today is health problems we all have, and you don't know what to do about them. And if you just tuned in, we talked about wrinkles, we talked about back pain, we talked about muscle weakness and loss, trouble sleeping, but we got a lot more to cover, so tune in. If you like what you're hearing, by the way, go to your podcast service and type in Dr. Joe for the health of it. Dr. Joe for the health of it, and we post podcasts twice a week. So you're going to get so much information, just that. Follow me on social media, at Dr. Joe Esposito. We post health tips every day, 1-minute tips, that's it, just 1 minute. And you'll get so much information that way. And if you still have questions, go to my website, drjoe.com. You can type in the search bar whatever you're looking for, blood pressure, sexual health, whatever it is. We've done podcasts and articles, and we have about 4,000 hours of content on the website. So you can get plenty of information that way. And if you still have a question, then you could send me a question through the website, drjoe.com, or just send me the question. You don't have to do the research, and I'll answer you personally. So drjoe.com is really going to be your source of amazing information and health. Again, I want to keep you well, and I want to get you well and keep you well. So other issues that we have, and this has become a big problem, is boredom and loneliness. Loneliness is now equivalent to smoking when it comes to your health. And I remember my mom in her final years of her life would say, I wish I had more friends. I wish I had more friends. You know, Joey, I wish I had more friends. And I said, what are you doing about it? And she wasn't ambulatory toward the end of her life, but she was ambulatory before that. And I said, what are you doing about it? She goes, I'm not good on the phone. So she volunteered at a hospital. First of all, I had to laugh at that. I always laugh when people volunteer at a for-profit organization. I want people to volunteer at my for-profit organization. I'd love that. But, she'd work and the volunteers, and at the end of the year, they get a blanket or a bag or something like that, silly like that, or they buy them lunch. And the key there wasn't that she was working for money or not working for money. The key was that it gave her something to do. It got her out of the house. So it's easy to get bored if you fall into predictable routines, especially if it doesn't change much. It could be in a relationship, could be by yourself, could be with your family. Shake things up and keep your mind engaged and try breaking your daily schedule. I've already had people that I've said, listen, just drive to work a different way. Anything to break that schedule. Take some time to do something you've never done before. Learn new things. I do this all the time. Google things to do near me and try something new. There's probably a concert. There's probably a fair, an event, a taste of Marietta, whatever it is, and try it. And volunteer. Great thing you can do, and I know there's a place called the Fox Theater here in Atlanta. There's always stadiums. You can volunteer to be an usher. Get to see the plays. For years, I was the chiropractor for the Fox Theater. Fox Theater is a really cool theater here in Atlanta. And I was a chiropractor. So I went down there and worked on the people, the actors and the stage hands. And it was really a lot of fun. And I got to see a lot of plays. I got to go backstage. It was a lot of cool, met a lot of famous people. And something like that. But get out of the house. And the problem is when you're in a house, if you're like me, the last thing you want to do is get out of the house because you're comfortable. You got your comfortable chair and you know the TV channels and you don't want to get out. But force yourself to get out of the house certainly every day. I don't care if you walk to the grocery store if you can, if you drive to the grocery store, if you have to walk around the block, if you have to go pull some weeds in your yard, pull the neighbor's weeds, I don't care. You got to get out of the house and do something. But you can take a hike, find a group of people that you like. You can Google, what do you like? You like hiking, you like gardening, you like bird watching. There's probably a group in your area to do that. Try a new cuisine, because so many people get stuck in a rut. My favorite cuisine is Ethiopian food. Now, if you've never had it, it's spectacular. I remember the first time I had it, I was back in college, and I had a coupon, and it was 2 for 1. And I went to a place called Virginia Highlands, and it was the Blue Nile was the name of the restaurant. And with the coupon, dinner for 2 was like $6. And I remember thinking, Ethiopian food, you eat with your hands. This is so gross. And let me tell you, I got hooked. So Ethiopian food, take a class. Loneliness is very hazardous to your health, and it's just as bad as smoking and obesity. So try to plan something different at least once a week, but get out of the house every day. And my mother, she was the most engaging, gregarious person in the world. I remember being in a grocery store as a kid, and my mother would talk to everybody. Have you tried those melons? Oh, those are pretty good. How do you make this? I've seen pictures. And my mother would engage with everyone. And as a kid, I'm like, Mom, you're such a dork. And let me tell you, I miss that. And I learned from her that it's okay to say hi to people. It's okay to smile. Just don't be creepy about it. So if you're just tuning in today, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We're talking today about things we all have these problems, what to do about them. So I remember hearing a great phrase back when I was in college. It says, if you ignore your health, it will go away. And I like that phrase. I don't want you to be a taint nothing person. Taint nothing means, I got this neck pain, that taint nothing. Don't worry about it. I've got shooting pain down my leg, that taint nothing. I get an irregular heartbeat all the time, taint nothing. These are warning signs. They're telling you something's wrong. I'm tired all the time. Okay, we all get tired sometimes, but if you're tired all the time, what is it? Is it low iron? Is it lack of nutrients? Is it long COVID? I did a show a couple of weeks ago on long COVID. And a lot of you were suffering long COVID. I suffered for it about a year. After I had COVID, I kept thinking, well, I'm going to feel better soon. I'm going to feel better soon. Just wiped out. And now, when I talked about long COVID back then, ooh, you don't know what you're talking about. You're voodoo. Oh, you're a shyster. And now it's turning out that long COVID is a medical diagnosis. And it's real. And a lot of it has to do with mitochondrial function. The mitochondria is the part of the cell that generates electricity. And we're finding with long COVID, the COVID virus, from what we can tell, I'll give you a recap of that show I did, is able to get into the mitochondria and slow down the mitochondrial production of energy so that the cells become weak so that the virus can replicate itself. The virus is so smart that it weakens the host so that it can replicate itself and you're not strong enough to fight it off. Now, sometimes it killed you. It went a little too far. But that's not what a virus wants to do. A virus wants to weaken you so it can replicate. If it kills you, it dies with you. And so there are a lot of things you can do for long COVID. Go to my website, drjoe.com. I think you just type in long COVID. I did the show there. So if you have problems since COVID, that could be the problem. So don't be a taint nothing person. Stomach pain, chronic fatigue, sudden weight gain, sudden weight loss, chest pain, stabbing pain, stabbing headaches, sudden confusion, dizziness, chest pain. It's excruciating. And again, my rule of thumb with pain is this, and I'm board certified in chiropractic, and I'm board certified in pain management, and I'm board certified in orthopedics, and I'm double board certified in nutrition, 23 other certifications. If the pain lasts for more than 3 days, get it checked. I talked about that earlier, but in case you're just tuning in. If a pain lasts for more than 3 days, come see us and get it checked. Because if I work out, I did a lot of gardening this weekend, I squatted, I was planting tomato plants, basil, and so I did a lot of squatting, a lot of lifting. I was sore after that. That's okay. Next day, I was fine. But if pain lasts for more than 3 days, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, sciatic pain, wrist pain, come see us and let's get it checked. If you have a health issue and you don't know what to do, make an appointment with us. We can do that virtually or in person. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. Don't ignore these warning signs. Remember Glenn Close, right? I will not be ignored. And that's what the pain is doing. It's trying to tell you, I will not be ignored. Fatal Attraction was the movie, by the way. And they're trying to tell you something's wrong, and you're just ignoring it. And you can cover it up with pills. You can cover it up with injections. I've had many, many, many people have surgery, and the surgery, in my opinion, and I'm not a surgeon, was not necessary because they still have the problem. Well, then the surgery wasn't successful, was it? Didn't fix the problem. And then they start getting chiropractic care, nutritional issues. We adjust their stomach, and amazingly, their problem goes away. So I'm not knocking surgeons. I'm saying let's do the most conservative approach first. Let's check the nervous system. Let's check the digestive system. Let's look at your diet, and let's get that under control. If that doesn't work, we can always escalate care. We can do drugs. We can do injections. We have a medical doctor on staff in my clinic, and we can have him do some trigger point injections. And then from there, if that still doesn't do it, we can go on to further spinal injections, surgeries if we need to. But a major, major majority of problems we can work on and fix in our chiropractic nutrition realm. Sometimes you need more, but not very often. So if you have a health problem, don't ignore it, because that's something we all have, and that's something we all do. I had a friend of mine who was a podiatrist, and he would say, Joe, I can fix the feet, and many times the knee pain goes away, and the shoulder pain goes away, and the headaches go away. So he went to podiatry school and then went to chiropractic school. And he says, I find that many times I fix the feet, and they don't need chiropractic care. And I said, how do you fix the feet? He goes, I do chiropractic care on them. So you can adjust the feet, put the bones back in place, and that can solve a lot of problems. So maybe you've been to a chiropractor, orthopedist, neurologist, physical therapist. You're not getting the results. Did they check the feet? Did they check the knees? Did they do a nutrition evaluation on it? Did they check your digestive system? Just because one doctor can't fix something doesn't mean it can't be fixed. Remember that. Because I had a lot of patients. I had one guy just recently had a knee replacement, and he had 2 surgeries, then a full knee replacement. Then he had physical therapy. Then he had injections. Then they drained fluid out of his knee, and the pain was still there. The doctor's like, well, I don't know what to do for you. I don't know what else to do. And he says, well, I heard Dr. Joe Esposito on the radio, and he was talking about doing something called acoustic wave therapy. And the surgeon said, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. And he came in, and we did acoustic wave therapy on his knee, and within one visit, he started getting pain relief. It usually takes about 6 visits total for acoustic wave. So his other knee is wearing out. He says, can you do anything for that knee? I said, yeah, probably. Let's prevent that from getting so bad that you have the surgery. He says, yeah, they said, let's wait until it gets worse, and then they're going to cut my knee off and put a new knee in. I said, well, isn't that kind of silly waiting for the engine to fall out to fix it? What if we fix the knee before the engine falls out? He goes, ooh, I like that idea. And so acoustic wave, if you have knee pain, shoulder pain, any joint pain, spine, it sends really, really fast impulses into the joint, breaks up scar tissue, increases circulation, recruits stem cells into the area. In many, many, many cases, people were told they have to have a joint replacement, and they don't need it anymore. With chiropractic, we put the joint back in place. The acoustic wave breaks up the scar tissue and increases circulation. We can do PRP injections. PRP is platelet-rich plasma. We take your blood, spin it down, and take out the platelets, and then re-inject it back into the body to stimulate new stem cell growth. So there's a lot of things we can do before we have to jump into that big surgery. Because if the surgery fails, that's not good. If the acoustic wave fails, so what? Let's go on to the next phase. But let's start conservative, folks. We have cold laser. If you don't know what cold laser is, that's great. It sends electric beams, electricity, laser, into the mitochondria to cause the mitochondria to generate new electricity. There was just an approved protocol for autism for cold laser. We had a patient with a stroke. We're doing cold laser, and she came to me, and a little old lady, and she slaps me. And she says, because in that generation, you could actually touch people and not have to worry about going to jail. And she slaps me, and she says, I walked 3 steps without my walker yesterday. And she smiled. And I said, that's so cool. So there's a lot of things we can do. Chiropractic, cold laser, PRP injections, acoustic wave therapy, nutrition, So many protocols that you're missing out on that you never even knew existed. So make an appointment to come see us, drjoe.com. Normally, the first visit to see us is $940. I've reduced that for you, my listeners, to $299. Exam, x-rays, consultation, first treatment, going over the x-rays on your follow-up visit, and a complete nutrition evaluation. X-rays alone cost more than that. Nutrition alone costs more than that. We put it all together because we want to find out if you're a candidate for our treatment. And if you are, we'll tell you. If not, we'll tell you that too. So drjoe.com. Stop suffering needlessly. We accept all insurances. It depends if your insurance covers. It's up to them, not us. And if it doesn't cover, don't let insurance dictate your life. I've had patients, well, I'm not going to come see you because my insurance doesn't cover it. I've had surgeons, I'm not going to get the surgery, my insurance doesn't cover it. And many people have died. If the insurance company doesn't cover it, don't let the insurance company dictate your life. Yeah, but that's an extra $100 out of my pocket. So get healthy. Drop your insurance altogether if you need to. But get healthy, folks. There's nothing more valuable than your health. And if you're ever in a car accident, please, if the car is damaged, you're damaged. I've never seen it any other way. And you're going to get scam calls from doctors and lawyers and all scams. No one will ever call you and tell you to go to a doctor or a lawyer. It's a scam and it's a felony. So don't be involved with felons. Come see us and we'll send you to doctors. We'll send you to lawyers that I know we can trust. So drjoe.com. We'll see you very soon, I hope. Now, 66% of all adults use prescription medication. That's a lot. Now, the older you get, elderly people, the average is 5 prescription medications a day. Now, don't stop taking medication without checking with your doctor first, but many medications can have an impact on your liver. In fact, all medications at some point have some impact on your liver. So foods that can help clean up your liver: grapefruit, blueberries, cranberries, olive oil, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, Brussels sprouts. I like to try to get to the cause of the problem and not just treat the symptoms. When I invented Dr. Joe's Super Greens, I put chlorella in there. Chlorella is an algae, and it helps detoxify the liver. Glutathione. I can't stress enough how important glutathione is to clean out the liver, master antioxidant, and most of us get very little glutathione. You can take a supplement called N-acetylcysteine. We become glutathione. On my website, drjoe.com, we have a glutathione supplement. It's the one I take every day. So if you have fatty liver, if you've taken medication, if you're on birth control pills, if you drink a lot, if you have a bad diet, stressed, pretty much all of us, yeah, glutathione should definitely be part of your lifestyle. And Super Green is an essential source. Of course, that's the starting point for all supplement protocols. And we'll ship it the same day or next day, drjoe.com. And it's the cheapest insurance policy you'll ever buy. I can't imagine not taking it every day. I used to play hockey, and just the other day, one of my friends came in, and he became a chiropractor as well. And I hadn't seen him in a while. His name is Tony. And he goes, "Joe, you haven't changed in 20 years. You look exactly the same." So I take care of myself, man. He goes, "What are you doing?" So I told him, and he says, "I got to get some of that stuff." So I don't know why you wouldn't be taking a quality supplement like Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source, glutathione, B-complex. They're all on the website, drjoe.com. Still substantially less expensive than drinking fancy coffee every day. It's better for you, helps add years to your life, helps prevent diseases, and is cheaper than what you're doing right now. I don't know how to make it easier for you. drjoe.com. So if you're just tuning in, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We're talking today about issues that we all have, but nobody knows what to do about. Many times you have dry skin. We talked about wrinkles before, but if you have dry skin, a titanium dioxide or zinc oxide sunscreen, only one you should be using. Quitting smoking, of course, is going to help. Cutting out alcohol, but most of us don't drink enough water. It's a simple fix. And so I drink about 6 to 8 glasses of fluid a day. Now, I'll drink tea. I have some slippery elm tea right here in the studio with me. Slippery elm tea is very good for your throat, very good for your mucous membranes. So I wake up every morning, have a glass of ginger tea, big glass of ginger tea. Then I'll have my slippery elm tea. I'll drink water throughout the day, and you want to stay hydrated. Now, as you get older, you lose your sense of thirst. When you're a baby, little tiny baby, it's a part of your brain and the hypothalamus that controls hunger and a part of your brain that controls thirst. And as you get older, those two parts of the brain grow together. And when they grow together, you have a tough time distinguishing between hunger and thirst. So many, many times when you, the adult, is hungry, you're not hungry, you're thirsty. So my rule for eating is this. Before every meal, have a big 8, 10, 12-ounce glass of water. You're going to eat so much less food. You're going to save so much money. You're probably going to lose a ton of weight, and you're going to make better choices. Because I don't know if you're like me, but when I'm really hungry, I make stupid choices. We've all made stupid choices in our lives. But when it comes to food, if you're hungry, chances are you're thirsty. So have the water, wait 10 minutes, have your meal, watch how much less you eat, better choices you make, and how much money you're going to save. And that's going to help tremendously with your skin. And if you have dry skin, it could be that you're not getting enough fat in your diet. So an avocado an avocado 2 or 3 times a week, good idea. Not a bad idea. And stay away from bad oils. Bad oils are called seed oils. They're high in linoleic acid, also called omega-6 fatty acids. And linoleic converts into arachidonic acid, and these oils are very bad for the body. They can increase your risk of insulin resistance. In fact, the number one cause of insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, is not too much sugar. It's too much seed oils, too many omega-6 fatty acids, because they block up the receptor site, and insulin can't get into receptor site on the cell and open up the cell to let sugar in. So the cell wants to open up and let sugar in. It needs it for fuel, but it clogs up the keyhole where the insulin goes in. And so it also causes inflammation, can increase your risk of heart disease, diabetes, cancer, obesity, you name the disease, it can increase your risk. So the only oils you should have in your life are extra virgin organic coconut oil, extra virgin organic olive oil from one source. If it says from Italy and Spain and France and California, no. The more sources it has, the more likely it is to be cut with soybean oil or an artificial or a bad seed oil. Pure olive oil has a very strong taste to it and a very strong smell to it. And if it's only from one source, it's a better chance that it's a better oil. So do that. And if you want to do avocado oils or walnut oil or something bizarre like that, those are all fine too. But the sesame seed oil, the grapeseed oil, the rapeseed oil, the canola oils, soybean, stay away from them. They're very dangerous. Get them out of the house. Don't ever use them. And read the ingredients. If something you eat has them in there, don't eat it. It's just that simple. You get to vote with your wallet when it comes to your health. No one is forcing you to eat these chemicals and bad foods and hydrogenated oils and steroids and antibiotics and pesticides and genetically modified food. No one's forcing you to do that. But it's convenient. In fact, I just saw California is passing some laws that they can't sell snack food that have known carcinogens in it. And if California passes it, and California's a different breed out there. I have friends out there. It's a very different breed of humans out there. But I think this is a good idea. Why should we have food with known carcinogens in it? It's pretty simple. Don't do that. You go to Europe, it's not allowed. You go to a lot of other countries, it's not allowed. But for some reason, United States, we're allowed to add known carcinogens to our food. Doesn't make any sense. So hopefully the tide is changing and we're going in that direction. So. But somebody asked me the other day, said, Dr. Joe, are your supplements the best or are there better supplements out there? And I kind of chuckled. I thought, these are the supplements I take every day. Why would I not have the best? So, yeah, I research biochemistry and supplementation every day. And supplement companies all want the Dr. Joe stamp of approval on their products. And many times they'll send me free samples and I'll look at it and go, nope, cyanocobalamin. Nope, that's not a methylated B12. I don't want it. They'll have calcium carbonate, which is not a good source of calcium. Nope, don't want it. So, yeah, you don't have to do the research. I've done it for you. Let's get the nervous system fixed. Let's get the digestive system fixed. Let's get your diet straightened out. All right, other things, weight gain. Another problem we have as we get older. Everybody does it in most cases. You can counter your slow metabolism by staying more active. But the ravages of time are going to get you. Okay, rhythm's going to get you. Ravages of time are going to get you. And so we have to change our diet. I need to do this. I need to do a show called Nutrition Through the Lifestyle, through life cycle. And what happens from a baby all the way on to a senior. And we need less calories as we get older. And the food is different. We didn't have the steroids and chemicals and hormones 20 years ago. And now we do. The red 40 dyes, the known carcinogens that are in food. We didn't have that 20, 30 years ago. And now we do. So we have to adapt to changing times. Wheat was different. You go to Europe, you eat wheat, you're probably not going to have a reaction. You eat it in America, you're probably going to have gas and bloating and runny nose, fatigue, brain fog. It's different products. Folks, I got so much more to cover. I just don't have time. If you have any questions, send it to me through my website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. I was going to cover erectile dysfunction. It happens to everybody. We have a protocol on our website, drjoe.com, a natural way to reverse that. In most cases, we get very good results, and it's a fraction of the cost of everybody else. But again, any questions, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. Follow me on social media, at Dr. Joe Esposito. We post every single day. If you're a podcast junkie, go to your podcast service, type in Dr. Joe for the health of it. But the best, Dr. Joe for the health of it. Best thing you can do is make an appointment to come see us. You can do that right on our website, drjoe.com. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. I don't say it enough. Thank you so much for making this show so successful, and we'll talk to you next week. All right. You got questions?
I've heard that brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand is very healthy for your brain. What are your thoughts?
Yes, absolutely. Because the right-sided brain controls the left-sided body, left-sided brain controls the right-sided body. So most of us all day, every day, use one side of our body. We stimulate one side of our brain. The brain is designed to be integrated, not segregated. And if you're using right hand for everything, writing, brushing your teeth, zipping your fly, starting your car, talking on the phone, the left side of the brain, which controls the right side of the body, is going to be overstimulated compared to the right side of the brain, which can be understimulated. So by switching it up, it's great. Another exercise you can do similar to that is called a cross crawl. And what you do is you can stand up. If you're in a wheelchair, just sit down and bring your right elbow to your left knee and your left elbow to your right knee, and your right elbow to your left knee and your left elbow to your right knee. It's called a cross crawl, and it reboots your brain. It integrates your brain. So brushing your teeth with your opposite hand is something I do very often, and yes, it's a good idea.
What is a healthy way to remove earwax?
If you want to get that professionally done, you don't want to jerk around with that, 'cause if you puncture your eardrum, it's not a good idea. Now, you can use peroxide, hydrogen peroxide, and it's okay. I've had ear clogs already, and it didn't do a darn thing. There are things you can get at the drugstore. I can't think of the name of the company now, but you can put it in there and dissolve it that way. That would be the best. But the other question is, if you're building up a lot of earwax, is there a pinched nerve? Is there an infection in there? You probably want to find out why. And chewing. Just by chewing, that causes the earwax to be pushed forward out of the ear. But you want to either get a professional, go to a drugstore and get a kit for that. There's no real natural way to do it that's really effective. So, what else?
I've heard that drinking liquids during a meal hurts the digestive process.
You've heard that, and it's not right. Because water is absorbed in about 5 minutes. So even if I drink a lot of water and my digestive enzymes are diluted, within about 5 minutes, the water is absorbed and it's reconstituted or reconcentrated. So don't drink a lot, but yeah, you can have water fluids during your meals. Mm-hmm. What else?
That is all.
Wow. Okay. Garrett, anything for you? That's it. All right, guys, thank you so much. Please follow me on all platforms at Dr. Joe Esposito. That means a lot. And we will hopefully see you in the office this week. That would be the best thing. If not, send me your questions, drjoe.com.